let's take things over to the X Division. Let's start with the World
It's a big
Cup.
X Division month.
It is in theory, anyway, because we have the return of the World X Cup.
Not exactly an in-depth month, but there is a lot of X Division.
Yeah, because this is the return of the World X Cup, so we have the World X Cup tournament throughout the entire month of May, culminating in Sacrifice. So the tournament format is 2 tag team matches, 2 singles matches, and a gauntlet. That's it.
It's really bad.
They spent all this time putting together all these teams for 2 tag team matches, 2 singles matches, and a gauntlet.
Do you think they wanted bigger plans, but because of the way everything worked out, it just didn't happen?
I don't think so. I just think they didn't have enough time to actually do a tournament.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, the X Cups, the way they did them in 2004 was they were devoted to a single show. The entire pay-per-view would be the America's X Cup or even the World X Cup. So, and even the first Super X Cup was that same way too. The 2005 one wasn't. That was a month-long tournament. But it's just the case they had 3 one-hour impacts to try and cram in a tournament. And you can't do that.
Yeah. Well, I feel again, there's it's just I feel like you could have found some interesting ways to work around that.
And the problem is the way you would have done that is more interesting stuff at the pay-per-view. I think the big flaw ultimately is not the 2 singles and 2 tags. It is the gauntlet.
Yeah.
You couldn't have come up with anything better than that, because in 2008 they do the 3v3v3v3 match and then the Captain's Ultimate X. So which is a better way, I think, to do the pay-per-view culmination as opposed to just let's lump them all in a gauntlet.
Yeah. And then you get a bunch of guys who haven't wrestled at all and they're just showing up in this gauntlet now.
Yeah, Tyson Dukes, Magno, a bunch of people who just were not seen at all.
Well, Magno was in the tag, wasn't he?
Or Incognito, one of them.
Yeah, Incognito.
Yeah, he's too under the radar for me to notice him. But there's a bunch of people in that gauntlet that you see for the first time in the gauntlet. And it's that's the only contribution they have in the tournament. So April 27th Impact, you do have probably the most fun match of the tournament. It is Team USA's Alex Shelley and Sanjay Dutt versus Team Japan's Haruki Goto and Minoru Tanaka.
It's because you almost feel like for a second there's gonna be a story.
Yeah, because these are 4 really good wrestlers having a really good TV match. They get a little bit of time. It's not too rushed. And they have just a real fun TV match. And then you're oh, if the entire thing is like this, it'll be fun. And the entire thing isn't like this. It's even the other 2 tags and singles are kind of boring. They're not even that good.
Yeah.
This is the highlight of the tournament, which is a 3 to 5 6-minute TV match.
Which is sad.
But it is fun.
Yeah. And it's only really fun because of the Shelley stuff.
Penzer calls Goto here Haruko Goto.
It's close enough.
Don calls Minoru Manuru.
Again, close enough.
Only Mike today should be allowed to actually refer to these people by name. The format, by the way, first round win, so winners of the tag team matches gets 2 points. Second round win, which is the singles matches, gets 3 points. And then the gauntlet winner gets 5 and the gauntlet runner-up gets 2.
Awesome.
So, yeah, D'Amore joins commentary here. PD is taking notes behind him. D'Amore announces that Johnny Devine and Tyson Dukes will be the other 2 members of Team Canada with PD and Eric Young, because A1 and Bobby Roode aren't really X Division guys.
Yeah, but there's no limits. But they mean stylistically.
He wants a stylistic match, even though Rude was in the X Cups in 2004. D'Amore does note that Minoru and Goto are former IWGP Tag Team Champions, junior Tag Team Champions, but he says Tag Team Champions. Lynn and Saban watch on backstage. Team Japan work over Shelley, but he turns the tide with a missile dropkick senton combo, which is kind of neat, and he gets the hot tag to Sanjay. Shelley drops an air raid crash on Minoru onto Goto. They get a near fall on Goto with a code breaker where Shelley held Goto in place, and then Dutt comes with a moonsault. Goto has a little flurry with a missile dropkick, backdrop suplex, and Olympic slam, but is put down by a Shelley sliced bread, followed by a Sanjay Dutt standing shooting star. Really fun little match. It's fun to see Goto get to flex his muscles a little bit.
And Minoru Tanaka is so cool.
He's the coolest man on earth. He's the coolest. It's insane how cool he is.
He has a real aura about him.
He does. He just stands there, cocks his head, and looks like the coolest guy you've ever seen in your life.
Does a little hand thing. You know his little hand thing that he does? He sweeps it.
It's so cool. He's so cool. It's unbelievable. Shelley and Sanjay, a nice little team as well. They had some fun double team stuff in this one.
Just Shelley as the little snake in Team USA is so funny.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we'll talk about the Nash stuff separately from this and then lead it all together. But yeah, Shelley is just the guy guy in the team that nobody likes because he's friends with the Canadians and then also friends with Kevin Nash. May 4th Impact, Team Mexico's Shocker and Magno face Team Canada's Johnny Devine and Eric Young.
Yes.
Shelley comes to ringside to film things. Shocker barely hits a moonsault that then TNA generously refers to as a headbutt. TNA does bring forward Shocker's past with Sabin, and Shocker is mad at Shelley filming ringside, which brings forward their rivalry from last year too,
that's cute. That's a cute little acknowledgement.
And they incorporate into the gauntlet as well. So I think that's fun that they actually respected their history, which feels like it's a thing that TNA doesn't really do.
Yeah, because like once people move on, they move on.
It's really weird that like the things that happened in 2004 in TNA might as well have not happened in 2006.
Well, I think part of it is that a lot of the feuds that do happen, eventually those guys just leave. They don't like stick around as much.
And I think the bigger issue is they see like certain points as kind of resets. Where like the FSN era is kind of a reset and the Spike era is kind of a reset. So for the most part, they only treat like the Spike era as stuff that's really important to continuity. Like there is some stuff where like Storm has some offhand lines about how Daniels should tell AJ what it's like to face AMW because he has experience with it. So there is some stuff like that where they do actually, actually reference their history. But it is nice to see them do it here too with Shelley and Shocker, who had a series of 3 matches last year, and they are actually like referencing it and making it matter a little bit.
Then we get some little dissension between Team Canada and Alex Shelley as Shelley goes for a real close shot, ends up hitting Devine. Well, Devine ends up hitting him through an Irish whip, and then they go nose to nose.
Yeah, so Shocker pins Devine with a cradle, and Shocker did the same dance he did with Sabin with Magno, by the way. Despicable. D'Amore shouts at Shelley, and as now Mexico and USA both have 2 points.
Team Canada losing.
Yeah, not a good tournament run for Team Canada, even though they end up tying it.
Don't worry about it.
It is still up in the air regarding the 4th member of Team Mexico. Abismo Negro was supposed to be at the pay-per-view on TV last week as Shocker's partner in the tag team match against Eric Young and Johnny Devine. Nobody had any idea he wasn't coming. He had the plane ticket sent, and when he got to the airport, Shocker was there and his partner wasn't, with the story that Abismo Negro's visa had expired. If true, nobody from AAA ever informed the company, and in Dave's mind it should be incumbent on AAA to inform the company and then send a replacement, although the visa issue holdup could actually be real. So...
Well, like, it's hard to trust anymore.
Yeah, there's talk of Dave where he's like, I don't anticipate them doing this anymore because of what a shit show getting these teams together has been.
Yeah.
And they do one more, but you can kind of understand why they stopped doing them when you read like the absolute disaster getting a Team Mexico for this tournament has been.
It must be like very difficult.
Because like you have to coordinate with at least 2 international partners. Like they at least have Team Canada, which is just a bunch of guys they can bring from Canada, or just put the guys they have on TV. So that's fine. And Team USA is fine. So you then have to reach out to a Japanese company and a Mexican company to try and get a Team Mexico or Team Japan, or like pluck some from the UK indies or something. But all those need visas, all have logistics, all have little annoying promotional concerns, or those companies being crazy. In both the case of AAA and CML, I think here. But it is a pain in the arse. And for the sake of the tournament they ended up getting, a pain in the arse that wasn't worth it.
Tournaments like this must just be a bitch.
Yeah, because like you're getting 4 guys from Japan and 4 guys from Mexico, all who need visas, all who need flights, and you have to sort all that shit out. And then if there's any delay with the visa, you have to find a replacement.
Booking.
And then booking who wants to lose, who's willing to lose. Some companies, we'll talk about that with it. There's some weird New Japan stuff with Liger. We'll talk about when we get to the PD match. But it's just a pain in the arse. It is just a pain in the arse. But when it goes well, it's cool. But
yeah,
I don't know. And it is the thing that made them stand out in 2004 in particular. During a pretty rough era for the company, there was at least those international tournaments that gave the show a different flavor, even if they did over rely on them a little bit.
It was the strongest like part of it.
May 11th Impact, we go to the singles matches as Team USA's Chris Sabin faces Team Mexico's Puma.
This was okay. You liked it a little more than me. I just thought it was kind of long.
Yeah, apparently Sabin is still a little banged up from when he hurt his foot a few months ago, if you remember that, when he was going into the
Makes sense,
NWA
'cause I feel
match.
like he's never really on the shows.
Yeah, so he's like still cleared to wrestle, but still like feeling the lingering pain from that. So, but even then, I don't know. this wasn't very good. As you said, it was a bit long and a bit boring. Like, it got time, which is nice, but then they didn't have a very good match, which isn't very nice. This is where TNA announces that Liger will face PD in the other singles match at Sacrifice plus a 16-man gauntlet. All the other teams watched on from the ramp. Saban hits a head station dropkick, wins with a cradle shock. It's fine.
I was gonna say that I did like all the other teams being like, this is important.
It is cool to see that like collection of talent on TV, and like the group shot of Team Japan in particular. Like, what a cool bunch of guys, because like they're stable in Japan. The guys they brought over is Liger's CTU stable, and Liger shows up at the pay-per-view, which brings us to Sacrifice, in which Liger faces Petey Williams, and Liger's in his black CTU gear. And yeah, like, what a cool stable that is with Goto and Minoru Tanaka and Black Tiger.
It's really funny. Like, I was watching this, like, there should have been a 3-way, and they should have had Black Tiger and Puma in the same match. What are we doing here? Yeah,
and that would have been cool. Why wasn't that the singles match on TV?
Yeah, well, I guess they would be scared it's like they don't have a TNA guy to like hold down the fort.
Because like there is, again, to give out about the annoying wrestling media. Like there's a whole feature in the PW Torch about like, why are they putting these matches on TV? They have no story. I'm like, I hate all.
Oh my god,
I hate all of you. I hate you all so much. You're the worst.
It's nice to know that like these shitty talking points weren't invented.
It's like nobody knows who these guys are. They're putting them out on TV in matches. Because like the Team Canada against Team Mexico match didn't do a good rating, and people are like, this is why. It's like, well, maybe it's because it's a bunch of nerds.
Yeah.
These people are unbearable. But yeah, Liger's here.
Yeah, I bet they weren't whining their assholes off about that.
He has a pretty good match. It's okay against PD. It's nothing special, but it's a nice little match where the pay-per-view feed went out and they had to replay it later in the show, but not ideal.
It's nice to see Liger.
Yeah, Liger's just one of those guys where like even if he's having, I think this was like a 7 or 8 minute match, and it's just Liger kind of playing the hits. Hits a nice dive to the floor, goes for an elbow. PD moves, so he hit a shoot senton because PD didn't move enough out of the way, so he just came crashing down on him. But yeah, it's freaking Jushin Liger. You get the Liger theme song, which is always a thumbs up. It's Liger. What more do you want from wrestling?
Yeah, I'm not going to be disparaging about getting a Liger match on a pay-per-view.
Minoru distracts the ref, allowing Goto to hit a low blow. Liger hits a reverse chokeslam, or like reverse rock bottom, whatever you call that, for the win. As the scoreboard heading into the gauntlet matches: Team USA 5 points, Japan 3 points, Mexico 2 points, Canada 0 points.
Yeah, Canada, they got no chance. Am I right?
Yeah, they're never getting out of this tournament with a win. It's not gonna happen. There was a situation that took place regarding New Japan and TNA leading up to the pay-per-view that at one point threatened to end the relationship. The original plans were that the X-Cup would go down to a 3-way tie with Canada, Japan, and the US, leading to a 3-way match with Saban, Liger, and PD. Liger was scheduled to beat PD, and a Japanese member was scheduled to finish second in the X Division Rumble. Therefore, New Japan would be on 5 points, Team USA would be on 5 points, and Team Canada would be on 5 points. New Japan officials then told TNA that they had a change of plans and they didn't want Liger wrestling 2 straight days. Nobody could figure out what the deal was, since New Japan doesn't even start its next tour until the 27th of May, the show on the 14th. So the finish was changed with New Japan taken out of the playoff.
It's very weird.
Even stranger was New Japan officials insisted that Liger's win over Petey Williams come only due to outside interference from his teammates. Dave could understand that from a New Japan standpoint, the CTU stable is a heelish group that sticks together. TNA was negative about that because they expected Liger to be a face against PD, which he was. The big argument was that they had booked several screwjob finishes on the show and they felt the opener needed a clean finish. At one point, the agreement was that Liger would pin Williams with clean with no interference, but CTU members could be at ringside. Then when they were out there, they just did the finish. So, low blow, Liger won. Seems like really weird. Like, why are you demanding the dude doesn't win clean?
Well, like, it's just weird that the whole time, like, TNA's like, yeah, we're gonna, like, push Liger as a big deal, and they're like, no.
Yeah, they're like, no, we want him to cheat, no clean wins for Liger, and we don't want him to get to the final.
Yeah, I don't know. Very odd. I guess, like, just, I don't know. Maybe they just wanted, like, the pictures of Liger cheating in America.
Yeah, and that's what they wanted out of it. And, like, Liger also pulling out of the cage match last month. It's a weird month for Liger.
New Japan, weird company at times when it comes to dealing with promotional partners.
And that's why tournaments like this are a nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing if it's one company, you know?
So then we also had the gauntlet for the deciding points. No gold on the line.
Gauntlet for the points.
So Team Canada's Petey Williams won an X Division gauntlet, beating Team Mexico's Puma in the World X Cup. So 5 points for Team Canada, 2 points for Puma. All right, deep breath. Minoru Tanaka and Puma started. Petey next, Saban next, Goto next, Incognito next, Divine next. Incognito hit a real nice tope, and then TNA mentions that Incognito was studying to be a priest, similar to the main character from Nacho Libre, an upcoming movie starring Jack Black.
I saw that in the cinema plex.
I've never seen Nacho Libre.
Oh, well, I guess we know what our second movie is.
That's our next Mystery Vortex Theater.
Yep.
There you go. Committed. Nailed on.
We're just going to keep watching movies I've seen 5 times and you've never seen. How did you avoid Nacho Libre?
I don't know. It looked stupid.
It mostly is.
Dut next, Black Tiger next, Magno next. Incognito hit a springboard moonsault that was so incognito the camera missed it.
Poor guy. All the luchador guys just kept getting, all their cool shit was off camera.
EY came out to a big reaction, crowd chanting Eric, as you see the groundwell support behind Eric Young here already, which is nice.
They thought it was Watts.
Oh, that's... What would he do it in a World X Cup?
No fucking weight limit, Garrett.
He's not Canadian.
Could be. He's the most Canadian-American I've ever seen.
We do have precedent of non-Canadians being on Team Canada with Jack Evans, but still. Dot and Incognito eliminated each other. Dot hurt his ankle and doctors helped him out, which was a worked injury, I believe, to cover why he didn't involve himself with Kevin Nash, but we'll talk about that in a second.
I did think that was interesting.
Because he did a big promo on TV being like, oh, if Nash wants to come, I'll face him. So I think they did the injury to cover for the fact that that's why he didn't confront Nash, I think.
And maybe, again, that all changed because of the Liger stuff, too. Because then Puma wouldn't have been the second, Liger would have been the second, so maybe there was a Nash thing earlier.
Yeah, it might have made more sense without all that changing. Shelley out next. Saban saved Shelley from elimination, but gets eliminated by Divine. Then Shelley throws out Divine. Liger out next. Shocker next. Magno got thrown out during Shocker's entrance, so another off-camera thing for Team Mexico. Shelley and Shocker have a little face-off, calling back to their feud from last year. Shocker took out Black Tiger. Tyson Dukes out next. Shelley eliminates Goto. Lethal is the last guy out. Lethal takes out Minoru. Shelley eliminates Shocker. Dukes eliminates Liger, followed immediately by Lethal clotheslining EY out. So Tyson Dukes got the privilege of eliminating Jushin Liger from this match.
I wonder if that was a little fuck you to New Japan.
Yeah, we're going to have the biggest nerd we can get in this thing, who is only seen in this match, nowhere else in this tournament.
He doesn't wrestle, but he does appear in the Team Canada watching the match video.
He's just hanging around.
He's probably doing Explosion, right?
I assume so. But yeah, he's the guy that eliminates Jushin Liger. It is quite funny. Shelley eliminates Dukes. Shelley misses a knee on Petey and crashes out. Puma kicks Lethal out. Puma and Petey are your final two. Petey wins pretty quick with the Destroyer. So Team Canada and Team USA are now both tied at the top of the table with 5 points.
Oh my god, how could they have such... It's crazy how they had specifically 5 points on the line for this.
It is funny how in the old X Cups, they did actually specifically state the tiebreak. They said it would be a captain's match in the event of a tiebreak, which it is here too, but they didn't state it in advance. So the one time it would make sense to actually say it was a tiebreak, they didn't.
That's because they wanted it to be a surprise.
It's classic wrestling. I think that is exactly what went through their minds. If we say that what the tiebreak is, people will think it's a tiebreak, and then when it is a tiebreak, they'll give out to us.
Yeah.
So yeah, the World X Cup has not been decided. We'll find out next month who wins between Team Canada and Team USA.
I'm rooting for Team Canada.
Down with America.